I know I normally make awkward noises before the camera actually starts up, but the noise I just made pretty much summarizes my feelings as to my thoughts on UFC 208. So hello everyone and welcome to another UFC review. This is for UFC 208 at the Barclays Centre in Brooklyn, New York. The third event in the history of the company that they've held in New York. And oh god, this was a shit card. I really did not like this card that much. But it's a very important one because in the main event, they did determine the first ever women's featherweight champion. Holm took on Germaine Randamie, and I'll get to that fight for last because, I start from the bottom where I start watching the fights on my mouth. So, we're going to start with the prelim card right now. So we start with the first fight, which was Felipe Navarre against Rick Glenn. And Rick Glenn won by unanimous decision. It was actually not a bad way to start the card, I'll admit. Felipe Navarre was closing in with some really good strikes of his own, but Rick Glenn managed to counter just that little bit more. He definitely did a lot better wrestling things. Also, a couple of events ago, I don't remember where they were, but the referees got new sort of refereeing shirts again for the New York Athletic Commission, and they've changed a couple of the rules. Which ones did they do? Oh, I was trying to remember the second one, because the first one is, when a fighter is being held in that front headlock sort of position and they have their hand on the ground, and the fighter who's holding them in that position can't hit them with a knee? They can do that now when their hand is on the ground, which is good because it was a dumb fucking rule to have in the first place. The other one is when you're mounted, when your opponent is in full guard on top of you, you can actually dig your heels into their kidneys now, into their back. I don't know why that wasn't allowed before. I didn't even know it was a rule before, but, now it's a thing you can do. They just need to fix the 12-6 elbows, because it makes no fucking difference. Sorry, I'm just really, really salty about the event and what happened. Anyway, yes, the fight between Nova and Glenn was good. It was a good way to start the prelim card off, at least. It wasn't terrible. I wish I could remember more of it, but congrats to Glenn and his really fantastic looking mustache. I will admit that he had a good mustache for the night. Yeah, we're just going to move on. Next up was Nick the Carney Lance. Let me sort this camera out. Nick the Carney Lance, who is one of my favourite fighting nicknames, and really good fighter I've always liked him against Islam Makhachev. Despite how good Lance is, he really couldn't quite pull off a win. Well, hang on, no, did he lose? He did, I was trying to remember. I had the Wikipedia page and I had to look back at it, but yeah. Makhachev won by unanimous decision. Oh yeah, Rick Glenn won by split decision, by the way. Makhachev won by unanimous decision. Fairly easy for him. He got a surprising amount of takedowns and did a lot of good clinch work against Nick Lance, who almost had him in a guillotine choke early in the first round. And he did manage to throw some really good butterfly guards, but Lance was just outclassed for the most part. Which is a shame because I really like him as a fighter. And he's got one of my favourite beards going, personally. It's just a cool beard. I like it. Yeah, I hope that that Lance recovers from it. Really good win for Makhachev. This is the first time I've actually seen him fight, I think, so he did an okay job. It was an okay fight. Next up is the one that was my pick for fight of the night until the actual fight of the night happened. Wilson Hayes against Ulka Sasaki. I think it was the first time I've seen Sasaki fight, and it was actually a really surprisingly good fight. The first round, Sasaki was landing vicious right hooks, really good counter straight rights, and taunting. But he was taunting in Japanese, and Wilson Hayes is Brazilian. So, even if Wilson Hayes could speak English, if he were to taunt back, no one would understand no one understood what Sasaki was saying because he's Japanese. But, if Wilson Hayes were to talk back and ignore the English thing, that was a really dumb non sequitur. No one can understand what anyone's saying, it's basically what I'm getting at. I need to calm down, I'm getting frustrated. I just really didn't like the card. Two fights were decent. One was great. Where was I? Yeah. Wilson Hayes managed to land some really good takedowns. He almost got an arm triangle at one point, if I remember correctly. And he did win by decision, which is good. I like Hayes. Sasaki I want to see more of. He's got a very exciting style. He was very jumpy. Very, very jumpy around kind of guy. So, that's very exciting. To see him fight again soon. Really good win for Hayes. And next up was actually a really decent fight to cap off the prelim card. Bilal Muhammad against Randy Brown. Muhammad won by a decision. It was a fairly close fight, all in all honesty. And there were several moments. Oh, I forgot to mention the Makhachev versus Lens fight. There was a moment where they were sticking their toes through the fence, and the referee of that match didn't really try to stop them, despite the fact that sticking your toes through the fence is illegal. It's against the rules. It's something you can't do. It's not something you'll get deducted for, but if you consistently do it, you will. And the ref, Kevin McDonald, who, despite having the nicest head, does not have the big brain apparently because he didn't really stop them, and he should have. Speaking of McDonald, he makes another legendary fuck up later on. I think it's him that does it. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. Bilal Muhammad won. He's always been to a fighter. He's one I've liked since I first saw him fight, like last year. He's had a really, really good active career in the UFC so far. I hope he continues to improve. Randy Brown, 6'3" for a welterweight, very tall welterweight. He did some really cool stuff, but wasn't enough to win him the fight. He even shot for a few takedowns, surprisingly, despite how good Muhammad is when it comes to wrestling. So, yeah, really good win for Muhammad. I really do hope that he keeps piling stuff on. God, I really need a haircut. Fuck's sake. Anyway, first fight of the main card. Justin Poirier against Jim Miller. Definitely does deserve fight night. It was a hell of a war. It was nice to have a fight on the card that didn't suck. We'll get to that. Yeah, it was a really good performance for both men. Poirier won, I believe. It was a majority decision, so one judge called it a draw. I have to admit it was a very close fight. There was some really good striking exchanges. Despite the fact that Poirier did have Miller hurt on several occasions with good combos, Miller was landing some really good counter strikes. Like, yeah, he would be hit with 5 punches, but he would land a really good counter left like he did near the end of the first round. It was really, really good. It was a good fight. Not on my top 10 of the year, but it was definitely the best fight of what was admittedly just a very poor card. Have I gotten it across to you yet that I didn't really like this card because I didn't. It was... Moving on, well done Poirier. Jim Miller never ceases to amaze me as well. So let's move on. Next up was Glover Teixeira against Jared Cannonier. Teixeira won by no decision, did a lot of wrestling. When it came to the striking, Cannonier did actually land a really good left in the first round that did wobble Teixeira. But Teixeira mostly took the wrestling and won. He did try for a few submissions, nearly got a neck crank, went for a couple of guillotines, didn't really manage to fully sink anything in, because if he did, he would have won in an exciting fashion. You know? Oh, this card. God damn this card to hell. Yeah, he did do a good job, though. There was a moment in the fight where Kevin McDonald made a major screw-up. You see, I believe it was in the third round. They were having some good range changes, you know. Teixeira had taken Cannonier down. He was moving a lot around on the ground, and so was Jarrett. You know, Jarrett was trying to move around, trying to get into a good position. They're against the cage, and Teixeira had Jarrett on his back in sort of a half-guard position, and was trying to move. They both were, but the referee stood them up. He shouldn't have. That was a really, really dumb call. He should have let them work on the ground, I think. I'll see if anyone could advance, because they were trying to, but the ref didn't let them. Yeah, but anyway, Teixeira won, you know, it's a pretty clean, clear win for him, no doubt, so... Yeah, moving on. Also, Jared Cannonier wants to move down to middleweight, apparently, after the fight. Or soon, despite the fact that he's a really big light heavyweight. Hang on, I'm going to see how tall he is, because like light heavyweight, he's 5'11". Okay, so he's quite short. He's quite short for light heavyweights, like Rashad Evans, but in terms of musculature, because he was a heavyweight at first, like he's really big. You know, not so tall. Well, I'm like 3 inches taller than him, but just, you know, he's butch like Zephyra. Fuck, I should not have said that. That was a reference to the producers. That was not anything meant to be anything negative. please do not take this video down, or, well, I would say don't demonetize me, but I don't make money from this, so we're just going to move on before I shoot myself further in the foot. That has been put in my mouth. Next up was Ronaldo Jacare Souza, who I like, against Tim Bush, who I really like. Also, I have to sneeze. Thought I did. It's gonna come out at the worst moment. Like, I felt something. Anyway, Jacare won by Kimura in the first round, making this the only finish on the entire fucking card. And he got Performance of the Night for it. The only person to get Performance of the Night, because he's the only person to have finished. Much like, you know, Poirier and Jim Miller got Fight of the Night because that was the only fight to actually be good on the entire card. Oh boy. Well done to Jacare, though. People should learn by now, you do not want to go to the ground with Jacare, because if you do, he will tap you out. He will find a way. You know, he might just get a really good takedown on Bosch and just sunk in a vicious-looking Kimura. Really good job from him. Always impressed by Jacare. He's one of my favourite middleweights right now. Excuse me. So, yeah, really good job from him. I do see title shot maybe in his future after Bisping fights and beats Romero. I like Romero. Not that much, but I do like him. So, yeah, moving on to the co-main event. Next was the co-main event between Anderson Silva and Derek Brunson. Anderson Silva won! Yay! Without the help of steroids, I think. I don't know, that news hasn't been really helped out, because in his last few fights he kind of did. No, in his fight with Diaz he did. Then he took a break, then he had the fight with Cormier, which he lost, then he lost the fight with Bisping. No, the fight with Bisping came before the fight with Cormier. But he won this one. Speaking of Cormier, he was on the commentary along with Joe Rogan and John Anik, who normally doesn't comment on the bigger numbered events, but I'm guessing Mike Goldberg was busy. I would have liked Brian Stan to be there as well. Imagine all 5 of them. Well, not just 4 of them, because I like Cormier and commentary, but... Anyway, moving on. This fight kind of blew. See, I believe Silva won by... No, unanimous decision. I thought he won by split decision, but no, unanimous. Well, that is understandable. He did defend like 9 of the 11 takedowns that Brunson shot for, which was very impressive. Like, who taught Anderson Silva how to wrestle like that? Who knows? But yeah, Silva landed some really good counter strikes. It was about round 2 where I started getting more into the goofy Anderson Silva, you know, the one that got the shit kicked out of him by Chris Weidman in their first fight. That was kind of fun to see, but yeah, I wish Silva would stop lying around. You know, he's 41 now. He's going to be 42 soon. He's still fighting. I don't think he'll capture the title again, but I do think he's going to keep fighting for one more year maybe before he hangs up the gloves. Really good performance from him. Derek Brunson, like, needs to step it up. I think it was because his few fights before Robert Whittaker, he was able to go in there without worrying too much. Then he got beat up by Robert Whittaker in a really good fight. And now he's more tentative to strike. In fact, for most of round 2, nothing happened in this fight. So, Silva won. Really good. Brunson lost. I'm okay with that. I'm not the biggest fan of Brunson, to be honest. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the main event for the first ever UFC Women's Featherweight Champion to determine that. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. So, I have nothing wrong with the results of this fight. Germaine to Randamie against Holly Holm, and Germaine won, which no one was expecting. Unanimous decision. She landed a hell of a lot more head strikes. Body strikes were fairly even, but slightly in favour of Randamie, because when it comes to big main events like that, they do the statistics afterwards. So yeah, Randamie had head strikes by a mile and body strikes by a bit. Holly had leg strikes by a bit and cage control by a mile. There was no wrestling, pretty much. I don't remember any takedowns. First round was fairly even, surprisingly. I gave it a slight edge to Randamie. She was landing this really good counter right hook, which she landed in rounds 2 and 3, and we're going to get to that, believe me, we're going to get to that. Because I know you all want me to talk about it. Also, one of the remotes just fell off my fucking pillow cushions on my sofa. Oh, God. Top quality content, that is what you get, you know, when you watch my videos. Labelless tea. Nothing tastes better than not getting sued for use of the Fuhrer's name from a comedic movie by Mel Brooks. Oh yeah, the fight. So, Randamie was landing really good counter right hooks that seemed to be up around both for most of round 2 and round 3. At the end of round 2, after the horns ended, she landed one extra punch. Which is a big no-no. You're not allowed to land any more strikes after a round's over. And, like, you know, that was one punch. That was a warning. You know, she did apologize to Holm, and it was like, okay. She did it again at the end of the third round, and she landed 2 punches. And the referee, Todd Ensign, who I'd never seen referee before, who fucking sucks, I'm just saying it now, he's a shit ref, did not take a point away from Germaine. He should have done that. Granted, it would have made a difference. I was pulling for, you know, considering how the second 2 rounds ended, round 2 and round 3 ended, you know, even if Randamie did get a point taken, she was still winning the fight, in my opinion. So I don't think it would have made a difference, but still, she should have had one taken away. And the ref instead said, no, she does it again, then we'll take a point. No! He should have done it right then and there! You know, I would have personally done it after the first fucking time. Oh, God. This... Round 4 and 5 was slightly more in Holly's favour. She did do a lot more clinch work, but she was giving away quite a massive tell. She likes to make this key art noise whenever she attacks, and I compared it to an anime character while I was watching the fight because it made... My commentary made it that bit more entertaining to me. It was a crap main event to top off a really shite card, to be honest. Then again, it did give us the first ever women's featherweight champion, so well done to Germaine Randamie. Well deserved. Holly Holm said she doesn't want a rematch. I want to see a rematch, hopefully a better fight next time. What else is there? That's almost all I can think of. Oh, the Bilal and Randy fights and the Miller and Poirier fight. Bilal landed a hell of a lot of leg kicks, landing like 24 out of 24 in the first round. The same thing happened for Jim Miller, who actually caused some swelling on the right leg of Poirier. So that was cool. But yeah, all in all, UFC 208 was not a good card, in my opinion. I mean, like, the first ever card they held in New York at UFC 205 was an absolutely historic night and a brilliant card. The one they held not long after with Derek Lewis fighting whoever the hell he fought, I don't remember. Not as good, but a lot better than UFC 208 was. Sorry, I have a itchy nose. I think it's from that sneeze that I wanted to get out earlier but didn't. Anyway, that's probably just about it for this video. I was really disappointed in this card. It could have been a lot better. Still early, you know, still early in the year. And, oh no, I was going to say if I don't see you by then, I wish you happy Valentine's Day, but I'm going to see you by then, because hopefully by then, that's when the second part of my Converge backtracking episode, which is episode 5, will be uploaded. Now, I know I made a promise to only save 2 parts if it's the 10th episode, or something like 10th, 20th, 30th, if I ever get that far, or finales as well. But I wanted to make a special exception for Converge, so, you know, they're going to do first part's going to be hopefully tomorrow, part 2 is going to be hopefully the day after, so. Yeah, regardless, I hope you're all enjoying being with your loved ones or otherwise when it comes to Valentine's Day. Regardless, I am, you know, I have my friend. He lives in a mug. His name is T. This video has already become a train wreck. Already, and I'm about to end it, like 20 minutes in. So, I guess I'll see you next time. Once again, well deserved to Randamie. I do have to see a rematch. Man. Oh, in case I didn't bring it up, Holm She did do some really good clinch work in rounds 4 and 5. Well, it wasn't the best. Oh, I forgot to mention the clinch work in the Brunson Silva fight as well. Silva was getting some good clinches, but Brunson managed to land a lot of good punch combos. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I'll see you all tomorrow before I lose my mind. Yeah, bye.